Welcome back to the Triple Threat Podcast. We are in episode 3 of our quarterback rankings. We have some really exciting guys, don't we, Will?
Oh, this is going to be a fun one. We've got one of our favorite quarterbacks, one of everyone's favorite quarterbacks coming up today. And we've got some two promising rookies in this episode. This should be really interesting to see. So, it'll be a good episode, won't it?
Yeah, it will. And if you missed the last 2 installments, be sure to go check them out. We will have a playlist of all the quarterback rankings and then eventually all of the position rankings. And then if you do miss those 2, remember to go check it out on the website. We will be posting it soon, triplethreatpodcast.com. You can find a lot of content that we go over in YouTube videos, plus some more exclusive content that we just write on our own time. It's a really good way to get a quick snippet of our detailed analysis, and some of the articles are pretty creative and fun. So starting off with the list, we have everyone's favorite quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. So what are your thoughts on Garoppolo, especially given that he has an excellent coach in Kyle Shanahan, which I've seen firsthand as a Falcons fan, and a really good, solid group of guys around him, such as Kittle and Deebo Samuel, just to name 2 off the top of my head.
So, he hasn't had a lot of body of work this season, but he is the definition of a system quarterback. I think a lot of his success is really due to Kyle Shanahan just being an incredible schemer. Like, you hear stories coming out like, you're going to be open on this play for a touchdown. Like, you're going to be wide open. No one's going to be covering you. You're going to be wide open. You're going to get touched on this play. Just throw it to him. And then it'll happen. Like, he will be able to predict what's going to happen. Like, he can just, make magic happen with his plays. And there are some stats that can back that up. All four receivers are above the league after separation, and he has 2 in the top 10. Deebo Samuel leads every receiver in the league in separation at 4.6, and then Kittle leads every tight end in the league in yards per separation. Like, he's got guys wide open, 4.5 yards average of separation. Like, that means there's sometimes where Deebo Samuel just no one is covering him. Like, that is ridiculous. Like, those are throws. I could be 4.5 yards. If you give me a 4.5 yard window, I can probably hit somebody. Jimmy G is not being asked to do a lot in this system. So I think that's one of the things that you have to look at when you talk about this team, or you talk about Jimmy G as a quarterback, is what is he asked to do above a league average player? So he has the second lowest intended air yards on completions at 4.1, but his bad ball percentage is in the middle of the pack, 16. He's first in yards after the catch at 7.6. His receivers after the catch are just running. That just means a lot of his stats are inflated. He's got the ability to be a Super Bowl quarterback. A lot of quarterbacks do. Pretty much every quarterback can lead a team. If you're smart, you manage the game, you can be a Super Bowl quarterback. If you look at our past couple of videos, I'm not going to give up too much, but could you go to a Super Bowl with Alex Smith? Could you go to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff? Yes, you can. Can you go to a Super Bowl with I'm trying to think of anyone who else would throw short. I don't think you could go with a Super Bowl with Gardner Minshew, but you can try. I mean, if in this system, I wouldn't doubt that. You put Gardner Minshew on last season's Niners team, they're probably in the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does help when you have such a talented coach in Kyle Shanahan and a great supporting cast around him. And, this season, San Francisco in general has been hit pretty hard by the injury bug, so we haven't seen them at full strength. But do you think that they'll be back into contention for next season if guys like Nick Bosa and, today seeing George Kittle play, you think that if they're healthy, Jimmy Garoppolo can lead this team back into at least a Super Bowl mix?
Oh, easily. You add Brandon Ayuk, who's another explosive separation yard after the catch guy into the system. That's perfect. Perfect fit. Deebo and Ayuk will be great in this system. Kittle is a fantastic tight end. They've got really, really good offensive line play. Trent Williams has been great this season. And their defense, they got Fred Warner, who's fantastic. Bosa. I think losing to Forrest Buckner was the wrong move. I would have rather shipped them Eric Armstead, because they're on similar-ish contracts. I just would have moved off Jimmy G and kept DeForest Buckner because, as I say, I think a lot of quarterbacks.
Buckner's a game changer.
And we'll talk about them. We talk about defensive line, but he is a game changer. I'll hopefully have linked the Pro Bowl stuff video above me because he is a stud, deserves to get credit, all pro player. So I think he can. The team's talented, but the division is really tough though.
Yeah, you have Seattle, and we know what they can do. LA is back into the mix again after taking. Actually, they were 9-7 last year.
They
They
were
weren't
solid
terrible.
last season. They weren't
Yeah, they were
bad.
solid. Just a little unfortunate. And then you have Arizona, who has DeAndre Hopkins, a top 5 receiver, and then Kyler Murray, who's been looking like a great quarterback so far. So moving on, speaking of young quarterbacks that are pretty mobile, Jalen Hurts. What are your thoughts on Hurts? And what do you think that he can do to this Philadelphia Eagles team that is not the best in terms of coaching or in terms of a supporting cast?
If you told me I'd put Jalen Hurts at 23 when he was at Alabama, like I think I was the CEO of the Jalen Hurts hate club. Like I did not like him at Alabama at
Yeah.
all. Like I was like, Tua got in, Tua's benching him, Tua won the national championship. Yes, this just proves my anti-Hurts conspiracy. I mean, he's proven me wrong. At Oklahoma, he was solid, and in the NFL, he's been really good. I think that it might be that just new quarterback vibe. So like, he's a leader. He changed the culture. He didn't change the culture at Oklahoma, but like he was in the workroom after losses. He was right at the workroom all the time. He is a football player. He's got great football IQ. He's a great leader. He's just a great person. So I will say Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback for Philadelphia and for Doug Pearson's system of just chucking the ball deep. Because Jalen Hurts is a better deep ball thrower than he is intermediate thrower. Because what worries me still is you look at games like LSU where he's just 10 yards overthrew CeeDee Lamb. Like he's just not a decent thrower. And we'll get into that with a little bit of statistics, but he's a leader. He makes plays with his legs and his IQ make him a serviceable quarterback already in the league because when you can run, you simplify the defense. If you have a great football IQ, you can make the right decision. And if you're a leader, you can get the team to play well for you. So, I mean, he's got the keys to success. He's got the keys to this offense.
Mm-hmm.
So, going into the more of the statistics, he is dead last, or I don't know how to say it, but he's the worst thrower in the league. 24% bad ball percentage. That is the worst. I know it's only a 2-game sample size, but like that is dreadful. And then he's first in the league in an area to 9.1. Like trends with Carson Wentz, throw the ball deep, really high bad ball percentage. His deep ball solid. He's got a really good deep ball. You look at those 2 Hail Marys. Like he can throw the ball deep fairly well. As I said, better than his intermediate passing. He's third in yard after catch. Huge difference between him and Carson Wentz in those yard after the catch situations. Is it the receivers? Is it the trust? Because I don't think it's the placement. You look at those bad balls. He's not placing the ball. He's not leading the receiver better than Carson Wentz was. I think just being him a great leader, being great IQ, great football player. Jalen Hurts has been it's strange to say a top 23 quarterback this season. So that is crazy to me that I would ever put him here. You told me 3 years ago he was second in Heisman voting and the starting quarterback for the Eagles during Carson Wentz's MVP year. I would have told you you're crazy.
That's really funny. I do remember you not being the highest on Jalen Hurts. Even come draft time, you weren't really loving that Philly pick in the second round. And yeah, I think mentality changes a lot. It can shift a whole culture. And I won't say that he's done that completely yet, especially he's a rookie on an NFL team and he's only played 2 games. But it makes me kind of wonder what this is going to do mentally for Carson Wentz, who already seems like affected by what Nick Foles has done. You think that this will be another strain on Carson Wentz?
Oh, I think I don't know. Has he already accepted this? I don't know. It's really tough to say. I think Carson Wentz has to get out of Philly. Philly media is brutal. It is brutal. I hope Jalen Hurts can survive. I think he will. I think he's already got a lot of the media and Philly loving him because what he's done already. Like he didn't look good in the first quarter against Arizona. He turned it around. He looked really, really good at the end of that game. First game, I know it's a lot of lack of film stuff and just lack of preparation for Jalen Hurts, but I mean, he played really, really well against the Saints. Just his legs, the Saints, great pass rush, could not contain him. I mean, I put that on coaching, but I got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. So moving on to another exciting rookie. I knew that this episode would be probably the most fun we've done so far. Tua Tagovailoa. He came in around mid-season, took over. He's had some rookie struggles, but overall he's played pretty well for a surprisingly good Dolphins team. What are your thoughts on Tua?
I like Tua. I think he's a really good player. I couldn't put Jalen Hurts ahead of him. Like I couldn't say that Jalen Hurts is a better player than his Alabama teammate. Like I just couldn't do that. He's growing his way into being a passer. He had 600 yards in 2 games between that Kansas City game and then what was the game before it? Oh, I can probably pull it. I can't remember, but I think he's been a really good player. His accuracy was his strength coming out, but he's 31st in the league in completion percentage, which is a bit surprising, and then 30th in on-target passes. I mean, Preston Williams has been hurt. Devontae Parker's been hurt. And I don't think he's had a lot to work with offensively, but I think he's been solid overall. I think that you put him in a system with you got to get him some receivers. And I think that they've got that Houston Texans pick in the top 8, I think, right now.
Right now it's projected 7th, where Jamar Chase is sitting right now.
Dude, filthy. I don't know who I would take. Would I take Devontae Smith because, I don't know, they've played together? I would never make that excuse ever. I think you always go with the best receiver. But Devontae is probably a better fit because Tua likes to throw the ball intermediate, short, and Jamar Chase is a deep guy. I mean, I think it's an oversimplification. He's a really good player overall. He can play everywhere, but Jay Jeff was that primary guy, intermediate, short game. He's been a stud. We'll get to him. But his time to throw was only 2.3, so he's just playing his style. He's playing comfortable. He hasn't had anything crazy, dramatic changing in the NFL. But with his third lowest pressure rate, it's not the best fit. So he's a clean pocket, great time to throw. But the completion percentage is still worrying. I put the lot down on the receivers. I think Devontae Parker is dead last in separation at 1.6. So, not great. You look at guys like Jakeem Grant has a really high, but then Mike Gesicki and Devontae Parker are 2 of the 4 worst in separation at 2.1, 1.6. The league average is 2.6. So he hasn't had a lot to work with. So I think that Devontae Parker is a good receiver, but you have to trust him. You have to be trusting in that connection. And they haven't even had time to play together. So that just hasn't developed yet. But this team is competing, and he's been able to steady the ship. He's a player, like I said. You can win with the intermediate passing game. I love the intermediate passing game. He's really great at it. So I think you get him some receivers. I mean, he would be incredible with Justin Jefferson. Just imagine what he could do with a guy like that.
That would be really fun to watch.
And Justin Jefferson is really good. Just his deep ball is solid, and he too has a really good deep ball. Justin Jefferson runs really well deep, and he gets separation. So I think that'd be just special to watch. Get Jamar
Jefferson.
They took god awful.
Could have taken Austin Jackson at that 30 pick too.
They took god awful Austin Jackson instead of J. Jeff. Like, come on, dude. Like, I know you want to protect offensive line first, but at least draft a good one.
Yeah, there were a lot of pretty solid offensive linemen there available.
I think I got to pick a D. You're right. They could have had J. Jeff. Come on. I know their front office is good. I forget their GM, but I know he's a really good GM.
Yeah, Brian Flores has been a great coach.
Yeah. So, loving where this team's headed. If you want to draft Devontae or Jamar, I don't think there's a good value at tackle right now. I don't know the consensus yet, but I'd have to imagine get him a Rondale Moore, Jamar, Devontae, Waddle, Bateman. Just get him a good receiver, please.
Yeah. So moving on to Teddy Bridgewater at 21. And just looking at what we said here, he's more of a floor raiser than a ceiling raiser. I'm not gonna make like a Russell Westbrook stat patter type guy, but a guy that can lead your team to wins, but cannot elevate a team to championship contention. Is that an accurate description?
Yeah, fair enough. I don't think the Westbrook comparison is the greatest because Westbrook is an athlete and Teddy Bridgewater is just solid.
Yeah.
So he's just a really solid QB, and he won't lose you any games. I mean, look at the Saints. You give him a wealth of offensive talent and a great coach, and then somehow the Saints defense becomes the 1985 Bears whenever Drew Brees gets hurt, and no one ever talks about that. How they just become elite whenever Drew Brees gets hurt. Like look at the Vikings game. Like they couldn't do anything. Like I think it's really annoying how the defense just can't play well when Drew's on the field. So Teddy, he's the definition of just a solid quarterback. Not gonna lose you any games. He's gonna be solid. He's a really, really good quarterback for a rebuilding team. He's clearly learned from Breeze, and so has Joe Brady. 2.3 time to throw, lowest bad throw percentage in the league at like 12.5%. Highest completion like on target balls in the league. He has been a just solid passer. He's just been accurate, getting out quick to his receivers. Curtis Samuel's been really good in those yard after the catch type situations. Robbie Anderson's emerged as a really good player. One problem is the fit, I think, with him and DJ Moore. DJ Moore's been really solid, really, really good in that deep ball. But I think he's got like a 50% completion percentage when throwing to DJ Moore. Just a lot of inefficiency there. I think they got to get him into that intermediate passing game more because he's just a really, really talented receiver. Like, I think he has the ability to be on par with Calvin Ridley. Like, I know you might disagree with that, but like, where do you think they compare, like, in terms of talent?
I think talent, they're pretty comparable, and production-wise, at least in their first 2 years, they're pretty similar.
I mean, you saw that one guy pointed that out. They had the same stats. So I think that he's got a 6.8 intended air yards, 7th worst. Not bad, and he's just getting the ball out quick, being really efficient. He's never been known as a runner, but he has 36 scrambles, being smart, not trying to get hit. He's 19th in QBR, and I think that I could have him fall at 19. He could be in the top. Like, he's just solid. He's just a solid quarterback. I love Teddy Bridgewater. He's been really good. Like, they could have beat the Chiefs. Like, give him a good team. He can win you games. Give him a rebuilding team. He'll make you respectable. Like, the Panthers have been like a really good team this year. Like, they've been sneaky good.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually eliminated.
No, they are. They are eliminated. I think they only have like 5 wins. Like, they're long eliminated.
Okay. Tough.
Yeah.
But that is part 3 of our quarterback rankings. To sum it up, at 24 we had Jimmy Garoppolo, 23 Jalen Hurts, 22 Tua Tagovailoa, and 21 Teddy Bridgewater. So be sure to stick around for our 4th installment and the ones later to come. And remember, if you haven't checked out the other ones, be sure to check them out on the website eventually, or back on YouTube, or wherever you're listening to. And have a great day, and happy holidays.